Hi everyone, Darren Carnell here, and this is part 6 of the David Tennant Patreon exclusive painting tutorial. It's been a while since the last one. I do apologise for that. I'm going to do a few this week to make up for it. Let's not waste any more time. I will bring the other camera over and we'll get straight into it. Right, let's do this. Bring this camera over. Let's go to the close-up, make sure we've got it in the right place. Now, this is all looking slightly out of focus because I've set the focus to be about here, which is where I'll be holding the head when I'm painting. The webcam does have an autofocus, which should change when you move things, but for some reason it's not very accurate, and it always, whenever I move something, it tries to focus on it and then it goes a little bit out of focus. It's basically rubbish. So I've set it at a fixed focus about here, which is about 6 inches away from the camera. So all of this stuff is slightly out of focus, but you can still see it. But the important stuff, when I'm holding the head and I'm painting sort of here-ish, should be more in focus. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Let me get comfy. Right. So where were we up to? Oh yeah, I wanted to do another pass on the freckles, and a little bit more on the stubble, just to make them stand out a little bit more. And then I'll start putting in the details on the hair, bringing that in more accurately, and working on things like the eyes and the eyebrows and stuff like that. Okay, so freckles. I'm going to do them, or add to them, quite simply with some leather brown. If I get that brush, should be okay. So I get some leather brown in here. Throw a load of thinner in there. See how that works. I don't normally do flicking with this brush, but I want to try it. Okay, so I'm looking at, I've got 4 big pictures on the screen. I'm going to do some random ones, and I'm going to do some where I'm painting them specifically in particular places. And what I'm doing is flicking them in, and all the ones that are small as I want them, they can stay there, and any that come in that are a little bit too heavy, I just give them a dab with my finger and it lifts up most of the paint. A little bit down here because I know it'll add to the stubble that I'm doing. I'm just holding this really close so I can see. I've basically got my face, I've got my eyes about 4 inches away from the head. I'm basically right here. There's my moustache. Oh, there's a hair stuck on it. Okay, I'll fix that in a bit. But that is looking okay for now. On the side of his nose, on the other side of his nose. Do one under his chin, on both sides. Okay, I'll do for now. I'm going to add a little bit more onto the stubble, for which I will use, let's see, okay, I'm going to get a bit of blue-grey, and I am going to get some umber. Mix them together. And do the same thing again. Loads of thinner, thin them right down. Actually, I want more brown in that. Ooh, chocolate or leather, chocolate or leather. Let's add some chocolate brown in there. It's really quite difficult doing work that is so detailed and close up, because normally when I'm painting, and I probably say this on every video that I do, I hold the pieces like right in front of my eyes, like really, really close. And trying to do that when there's a webcam on a stand that's attached to a light that's right in front of my face is kind of difficult. But I'm starting to learn how to do it. Whoop, way too dark, you go away. I'm starting to learn how to do it and how to be able to hold the piece in front of the camera in such a way that I can look at it really close, but like my face is right behind the camera, so you can't see, it's not getting in the way or anything. But it's letting me do all the detail work while also letting you look at everything, which is what we want. Oh, I've just realised what I forgot to do. You should have told me. You're supposed to shout at me for these things. Hang on, let's put me in the corner. Hello. Okay, that's better. You should have said something. It's not my fault. Okay, it might be my fault. But I have no memory. I have no brain. You know this. Right, let's do a little bit more. So let's get some right on the corner of his jaw. Oh, bum. Okay, fixed. I touched the bristles of the brush on the face, which is what I didn't want to do. But no biggie. A little bit more by his chin. A bit dark on that side. That's better. Okay, that's looking quite good. Okay, so that's the stubble done. I've done most of the freckles. I just want to paint in a couple by hand that are in particular places that I just want to match up. I'm just try and get the paint off my fingers so I don't make a mess of that later. Okay, little brush. So thin down brown colour that I did. And he has some freckles, sort of there. Need a bit more paint on that. Okay, so it's about There's a couple there. There's one about there. Actually, there's a few there. One on the side of his nose. A couple there, but they're thinner, so not as prominent, so I'm just going to dab them down a little bit. There are some on, oops, on this side of his face. And there's quite a big one under there. Now a lot of these, I don't even know if they show up on the camera while I'm doing them, but they are all details, even things that while I'm painting them I'm thinking I can hardly see that. If I know I'm putting it there, then it will add to it, because layers and layers of tiny details build up. It's got a couple there. Oh, excuse me. I can hear my stomach growling because I forgot to have my lunch. So if you hear any growling animals, that is my stomach. That is looking good so far. Get one up here. Now most of these freckles and stubble details and stuff David Tennant has, but they're covered up to a certain degree with the makeup that they put on when he's in the studio filming, but they still show through a bit, just not as much. If I put them there, then it's better to have the details rather than just have a flat skin colour, even though there's no such thing as skin colour, because skin colour is a mixture of a whole load of different colours. But rather than just having a flat colour, if you've got loads and loads of little details, and it just means that when you look at it up close, there's stuff going on there. And that's what we want. Just let me look at this now. So I'm looking at the head and I'm comparing it to the photos, and I don't want to, I could take that even more, but I'm trying to hold it back just because on screen he doesn't look, the details that I know he has, freckles and stuff like that, you don't see them as much on screen, so I've got to match it somewhat to that because that's what you're used to. Okay, let me do some, let's see. And do some shadow under his eyes. So if I get, actually might be able to use that colour. Doesn't have to be that thick though, so I'm going to get a load of thinner over here, take some of the paint and just add it to the thinner. Oops, not that you can see. I'll just test it over here. Okay, so that's really thin down, and I just want to add some in there and then bring it round as a shadow under the eye, and get the end of my finger and just go dab 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 just to soften the edges. Okay, I'll take some of the slightly thicker stuff and I will put that up under the eye. under the eyelid, or above the eyelid I should say, under his eyebrows. Would help if I could remember what the human body is made of. And that's just adding a slight little extra bit of shadow, which I also want to add, let's see, a little bit more there, a little bit more there. Just some on the lower eyelid. Okay, that'll do for that colour. Now, what I've been asked to do by this client is to try and, if I can, not have the way the head was sculpted, the way Big Chief, hello, the way the figure was made from Big Chief. It's a typical David Tennant expression, but it's a fairly serious looking one, and she wanted it to be a bit more smiley. Now I can't physically change the sculpt with painting, but when I'm doing some bits later I can try, if possible, to maybe see if I can add a little bit of shadow in the corner of the mouth in such a way that will make it look like maybe he's smiling a little bit, or the positioning of the eyeballs, stuff like that. I'll see what I can do to try and lift that up a little bit for her, to lift that expression. Now, I have just noticed that there seems to be a tiny hair trapped in the paint on his left eyelid. I probably can't even show that to you. It's basically in there. Oops, hit the camera, didn't I? And that's not good, so I'm just going to use a craft knife, and I'm going to try and carefully scrape this hair out of the paint, and hopefully I can do it without damaging the paint at all. But even if some does get damaged, that's no problem, because I'll just fix it. So just give me a sec while I concentrate here. Okay, that's mostly done, but I do need to just slightly fix that colour, so I'm going to get some tanned flesh, just because a little bit of it came off, and some, no, not bright red, some deep red, and if I put a little bit of that there, oops, too much, a little bit of that there, get some of the brown, and that might be okay to start with. Let me just have a look. That's actually not too bad. I'll get a bit more of the flesh one, mix that in, and then I'm just going back in onto that eyelid just to touch up what I did, and then to help it match, do the same on the other side. That's better. All done. And while I'm here, while I've got that colour, I will add some of that to his lower eyelid. Is it in focus where I've got it? Let me just see. So, out of focus, out of focus. Okay, so it's about there. That's fine, I can work with that. Okay, now there is a speck of brown paint that when I was flicking the paint on to do the details, some of it got on one of the eyeballs, so I just want to... Helps if I clean my brush properly. Idiot Darren. Okay, get some cream. Actually, that's not thick enough. Really should put music in the background for when I go quiet because I'm concentrating. I will try and learn how to talk even though I'm not saying anything. Sometimes when I really need to focus on a thing, my brain just shuts down. Okay, that's okay. Okay, what next? Let's get some of the hair detail filled in. Brush. Whoops. I need to thin some of my brushes out because I've got a lot of brushes that are quite similar and it takes me longer to go through them. So what I'll do at some point is just throw away the ones that I'm not really using much because they're quite worn out and just keep the few that I use a lot. Okay, so umber, which is the base layer for the hair. Now this is I'm gonna go over this with lots of different layers and different colours, but for now this is just brushes flying everywhere. This is just getting the bottom layer on. So I can start building it up. Ooh, what's happened to the webcam? Hang on, let me turn this light off and on because it flickers because of the frequency of the light, and for some reason when it does it, if I turn the light off and on, that fixes it. what I'll do when I've done the other layers of colour on the hair, the different shades of brown and stuff, as part of that process I will go in with a smaller brush and mix it in to the skin and make it not look like a toy that's been painted and not make it stand out so much. Add maybe some individual hairs that are standing out, or just fade in the colours. Okay, let me just add a little bit of there you go. That's perfect. Oh, do the same on the other side. Because most figures and toys that you buy, the hair is whatever colour that they choose to paint the hair with, whatever version of dark brown or grey or whatever that they paint it with, they usually just paint it up to the edge, and there's a hard edge between the paint and the skin, and that's what you get, because it's a toy or a statue that's been done in a factory, and they've got to do 1,000 of them, and they don't spend any time trying to make the hairline look like a real hairline. Now if you look at your own or someone else's, you will see that not only do you have bits where maybe the skin shows through, but the colour of the hair is usually different on the edges. It's usually thinner, it's maybe a lighter colour. Just the fact that it is thinner means that when you're painting it, it's got to be a different colour, because there'll be skin showing through underneath, and the hairs will be finer, so they'll have a different appearance to them, and stuff like that is what you have to paint on when you're blending it all in. Now I'm not doing all that now, I'm just getting the rough hairline in place, and I will then go back with the different layers on top. Some will be dry brushed on top, some will be thin washes put on top. Oops, put too much paint on there. The head moved. The way I've got this head on here, I've made this little thing out of the top of a pen, top of a biro, which has let me attach the head. But the problem is it's acting like a ball joint, so sometimes it moves. And if it does that when I'm painting a delicate bit, it means I can cock it up. And that is something I don't want to do. Okay, just painting in rough details here. I'm not going for a perfect line with individual hairs or anything. That will come. I'm mostly getting it done. I'm getting it done in the right place, and then the details and everything will add up. Helps if I don't brush brown paint onto my fingers. I can hear my stomach rumbling. I should have had something to eat. Head keeps moving. Okay, that's mostly right. Ooh, I know what I need to do. Hang on. There's a little Donald Trump wig, because there was a bit on the edge of that was still showing as just grey primer. So I need to get some on that while I'm here. I'll go back with more layers, but seeing as I've got the paint, I might as well do it. Oh, excuse me. All I can think about is food now. I will wait, and I will have something nice later when I'm watching Game of Thrones, but I can wait because I'm painting, and that comes first. It doesn't normally. Normally food comes first. Normally food comes in front of everything, but it's my fault for forgetting to have some lunch, and I've already been late with these videos, so right now, painting comes first. Just this once though. So I'm just doing what I said, just getting the base brown colour. It's quite fiddly to paint this because there's lots of little, it's almost like little fingers. See all those bits? So I've just got to, even though they were a brown colour on the, on the original factory paint, I sprayed over them with grey primer just so I could do my own thing. So I'm just going over them with the dark umber mix, and then whatever I do on the main head, on the main hair colour, I will do the same on this, obviously, because it has to match exactly the same. Okay, I'll do mostly for now. I think I just head-butted the camera, but we'll be okay. Okay, so you go down over there to dry. Yep. Paint on my thumb. Okay, so that's that bit done. What shall I do next? Let's get a base colour down for his lips. Okay. Keep that there. We'll come back to that brush. Just going to use an old brush to mix the colour. So I'm looking at the pictures. I always take a load of layers to get to lip colour, because whenever I try and paint it just as a flat colour straight away, it never works out. But when I do it with a load of different layers of different colours on top of each other, I can get it looking right doing it that way. It always seems to work better doing a thing, then doing some highlights and doing some shadows and then putting another colour on top. Oh, wrong. Okay, let's thin that down. Oh, too thin, whatever. Much too thin. Well, it'll do. I'd rather do a few thin layers than one thick layer and go, oh no, we ruined it. Just applying the colour first, just right down the line in the middle where the two lips meet, then taking it further down, following the shape of his lip. Not worrying about shadows or anything yet. I will go back and paint in shadows and highlights and stuff as with everything else, but right now I'm just getting the rough colour put in place. Sorry, doing that focusing thing again. That's okay for now. While we've got some of that colour, I'm going to put some of it on the eyelids. Some on the lower eyelid, some up in the crease in the shadow between the upper eyelid and the, I don't know, whatever, the top of the eye socket, whatever you call it. I'm going to put some thin mix of it in the corners there. Why is my phone buzzing at me? Oh, that's okay. Messages on my Facebook page, but they can wait. Okay, so I will take some more of that colour and put it right in the corner there. So the creases of the eyelids and also in the corner of the eye. Might as well start building up the colours there. Well, I've got that colour. Let's put some of it on the bottom of his ear. Rub off the excess. Same on the other side. Let's put a little bit in the corner there. Things falling over in my studio. I don't like things falling over when I can't look at them. No idea what that was. Something fell down. Let's get some of that colour up in there just because it feels like it needs. Actually, let's do a thin wash of it over the front there. And then just dab the edges. Yeah, that's good. Sometimes you'll do a thing that you haven't planned for. And it's not something that you would have, thought would be part of the normal way of doing things. But sometimes you just have a colour in front of you or a colour on your brush, or you might just be looking at the head and you think, oh, I need to do that. And sometimes weird random things that you haven't planned for sometimes turn out to be the thing that can make it feel alive. So I always go with those. And the good thing is, because it's just paint, if you do something and you think, oh no, I've made it worse, that's okay. You just mix some of the different colour and you go back and you fix it. And there's nothing that you can do that's going to ruin it. Well, you could drive over it with a bus, but there's nothing that you can do with that thing. Ooh, we're starting to get there now. Why is my left eye flickering? I can't paint when my eye's flickering. Okay. So I think I've got a darker purple on my brush at the moment. I'm just going to put a drop in that corner there. Same on the other side. Let's make that darker again. A bit more red. A little bit of umber. A bit more red. Okay. I want to darken the colour. How long has this been going for? Whoa, 45 minutes already? That goes too fast. Okay. What I'll do is I'll finish this off in a minute, because we are pretty much then going to be at a place where the start of the next video we will start painting the pupils on the eyes. There's more to do with the lips and everything else, but we can get started with that. And that is quite a slow, boring thing, and I'm not sure how well it's going to be on a real-time video, because normally I take loads of time and go forward and back and forward and back, and it'll be interesting doing it while you're all watching. I think it's going to be terrible. But we'll see. But before I pack up on this one, I want to add some colour and darken slightly the eyeballs. So I want to get some blue-grey, get a load of thinner, thin it right down. Let's see if this is right. Yep, that's okay. It's basically a really, really thinned down bluey grey. And I'm putting that over the eyeballs, just because they weren't quite right. And I'm going to get some, where's my grey? Grey, 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 grey. Dark grey, there you go. Oop, hang on. Okay, so a little bit of dark grey mixed in with that. That should be thin enough. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to add some to the top of that there. A bit to the bottom, and maybe a bit in the corner. Okay, that's helping. Basically, it's helping create the 3D look of the ball of the eye. Just adding some shadows in the corners. Now we'll go back and put some highlights back in when we're painting the actual pupils, the round parts on the eye. But for now, that'll do. Let me just fix. I've just seen a bit on the ear where looks like some paint has scraped off. I might have done that last time, and I was being clumsy. I know, it's hard to believe me being clumsy, isn't it? No, Darren, it's not. Hey, shut up. Sorry, gone quiet again. I really need to get some background music. Sometimes it's because I'm concentrating so much on a thing, and I need, because I have limited brain power as it is, so I need all my brain power to do the thing that I'm doing. And sometimes, honestly, I forget you're all there. because I get so in the zone, as they say, and I completely forget that the camera's rolling and that I'm supposed to be talking. Okay. Well, so we've worked on the hairline around there. We've added some of that in. We've done all the extra freckles, all the extra details around there. We've added in some extra stubble and given that a bunch of extra layers and made that look more detailed. We've added some extra shading in different bits around the ears, around the hairline, a few bits here. We've done a load of shading and stuff around the eyes. Started to add the detail on the eyeball. Done some extra shading on the eyeball. We've done the lips, the first layer of the colour of the lips. That is starting to look really good. Now I can, if it's dry, just put that there for a second. I'm not clicking it in properly because I'll only do that when I'm finally gluing it in place, but I just want to see what it looks like. So I hold it up next to one that that's just basically had the base layer of the skin colour and a couple of extra layers on top, but you can start to see where all the different layers add in and the effect that they give. Cool. Alright, let me swap cameras a sec. Oh, his hairpiece. Main camera. I can't believe that's been 52 minutes already. That feels like I've been going for about 20 minutes. This is what happens when I'm in the zone and I forget that I'm painting, I forget that I'm recording, and whoosh, the time just goes by whoosh, so fast. Oh, look how long my beard is. It's normally shorter than this, but I think I might grow it for a bit. I don't know. I kind of like that. I might have that for a bit. Okay, 53 minutes, that's enough. I'm going to stop this one and I'll probably go straight into the next one. Where are we? See what time it is. Actually, I might go and have something to eat first because I kind of need it and my stomach is growling and it's probably going on the video and people are not following me so that they can hear my stomach growling. So I will go and do that. I will get myself another coffee, grab myself something very quick to eat, and probably get straight on with the next video. Or I'll do that tomorrow morning. We'll see what I get done. But for now, thanks for watching. It was probably quiet in parts where I forgot to talk, and I'm sorry about that, but at least you could see me painting, I suppose. Okay, that's it. I will let you go and I will get the next one done and put up for you. I'll see you soon. Bye.